Welcome back to Beautifully Grounded. My name is Desiree, if you don't know me, and welcome to my channel. So, today I am going to be doing something new. I actually already had this video recorded, but as you can tell, I just got this new ring light, and I ain't even gonna lie, I just wanted to use it. So I was like, I'm gonna re-record that because I wanted it to be better anyway. What we're doing today is going to be Adults Ask a Witch. I posted it on social media. I asked a few family and friends and some other people, co-workers, stuff like that, people who know about my craft. So I asked them to send me questions or anything they were curious about, and I would answer them in a video. So this is going to be part one. This is something that I do want to continue to do because, as I've stated many times, I want my channel to be a open space for people to get more information and just learn about stuff in regards to my witchcraft and things like that, because it is not talked about and people have a lot of misconceptions. I am also going to do a Kids Ask a Witch. I thought that would be hilarious because, you know, kids do not hold back. So I have a Kids Ask a Witch also. I am still gathering that up. I hope to record that video soon. But if you have any questions, always feel free to send me some through Facebook at Beautifully Grounded or Instagram at Grounded Beautifully. And if you have children or anything like that, they can also send questions. I really appreciate it. I love making these videos and I'm excited to see how they go. So to get started, I did only get a few questions because, like I said, this is new and a lot of people honestly just are not either interested or kind of scared to ask their questions because they feel like that's weird. I don't want to ask that. So I am going to do the few questions that I did get. Most of them are from my best friend Paige, and I love her so much because she supports me through everything no matter what. So she hit me with a whole bunch of questions. The first question I got is, do you use crystals? And these first few questions are all going to tie in together with crystals, but the question was, do you use crystals? And the answer is, of course. That is like, it was like meditation and one crystal about a year ago, and then now it's like a full-on witchcraft with at least between 60 to 100 crystals. I've lost count. Every time I go to the crystal store, I get something. I add to my collection like every other day. So I have a lot of crystals, and I will insert some pictures here of my altar with my crystals, just a few of them. And the next question I've already answered was, how many do you have? Like I said, anywhere between 60 and 100. I know I started like one or two, but then I got 50 from my grandma. She had some from her mother-in-law who passed, unfortunately, and she had a lot of crystals and things that she had from around when she was traveling. So I had got a box of 50 all together at once, and then, like I said, I continued to add to it probably every payday. Every time I have extra cash, I go to the crystal store and get some extras. So yeah. Also asked, what is your favorite and why? And the funny thing is, like I said, this video was recorded previously, but I'm redoing it now. But I was talking about my favorite crystal on there, and I could not find it anywhere. And crystals have a way of, if they're not needed or if they are done doing what they need to do, they will end up missing or falling apart or something like that. If it's something that's not meant for you to have, it will find a way for you not to have it. So my favorite crystal, and I got this from another friend of mine, which is kind of funny because that was a whole situation in itself, but she got me this for my birthday last year. And like I said, for the last video, I could not find it. Luckily, I did find it today, right before I started recording. And so what's funny about this crystal is that I had the same crystal, just in a different form, before I got this one, and I carried it everywhere with me. I have always been drawn to this crystal. I have always had it on me, my one crystal that I had before. And one day, while cleaning, now if you don't know any witches or you're just now learning everything, if you were to ask me, where do I keep all my crystals that I carry with me, most of the time they're in my bra. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. That's where I keep most of my crystals because it's close to my heart chakra, and it's just a lot easier, so I don't have crystals like all in my pockets and everywhere else. So yeah. yeah, they're in my bra. So I used to keep my natural fluorite, which that's the crystal that I love and adore, natural fluorite in my bra all the time. And one day while I was cleaning, I don't know if I moved wrong, I bent, I don't know what I did, but it fell out and it broke, and I was devastated. I was so hurt. I was like, oh my gosh, I just broke my floor. I was so sad about it. And so I hadn't told anybody about it but my husband, and I kind of just forgot about it. Eventually, I got over it or whatever and said I would get another one soon. And so, like I said, the friend who gave me this, were we're friends, but me, I'm not a very like talk to you every day type of friend. I'm probably not the best friend, but the people who are my close friends really love me. I am a great friend. I just am really bad at communicating, and I'm working on that. But we hadn't really been talking as much, and I was getting ready to go out, and there was a knock on the door, and I was like, who is this? Like, I was getting ready to go out with my family for my birthday, and I opened the door, and it's her, and she had got me my birthday gift, and she got me a pendulum, a rose quartz pendulum, and she got me my current favorite crystal that I carry everywhere with me. So this is my beauty. This is natural fluorite. It has the purple, the little turquoise green, and a little bit of brown at the top. But this is natural fluorite. This is how it is naturally formed. And this one is not tumbled or shaped into anything. This is just naturally how it came. So I love this. First of all, I love it. I was drawn to it for its colors, of course. It's so beautiful to me. And also, once I got it, like with most of my crystals, when I go to a crystal store, I normally just get whatever calls to me, whatever I'm drawn to, and then when I get home, I research it, find out what it does, what its metaphysical properties are, and things like that. So with natural fluorite, and I had to research it again because, like I said, I just carry it. I just carry it because I just feel like I have to. I don't even really remember the properties of it. But with natural fluorite, surprisingly enough, or ironically enough, it is a grounding crystal. So beautifully grounded is my thing, you know. And this is a grounding crystal. It helps ease stress and anxiety. It helps calm your mind. It helps you during meditation to just basically just let everything go and just bring order to all the chaos. And with me, I was a very anxious person. I stress out a lot. I do a lot of all of that. So for me to be called to this crystal, to be automatically drawn to this crystal, I was like, okay, so that makes sense. I needed this. She also asks, how does it make me feel and what kind of energy does it give me? Now, my natural fluorite, like I said, it just takes away, it has taken away a lot of stress and anxiety that I didn't even realize it did. And it has also just brought, like I said, more clarity, more being grounded, more calm to my chaos that I always have going on. So that's what type of energy it gives me. And like I said, I really love this crystal. I carry it everywhere I go. I talk to it, I sing to it, I do everything with this crystal. So this is like my little baby. And I do have a whole bunch of other crystals that I use for different things, and I use my crystals during rituals, during meditation, during spells, anything I have going on. A lot of times I use crystals. For me, crystals are mainly like a focal point, so I normally hold them in my hand to just focus. I just use it to focus and really just kind of center all of my attention and all of my energy. So I love my babies. I love all of them. Like I said, they all have different meanings and different spaces for me, but this is for sure my favorite. Besides herbs and crystals, what do I use for my craft when I'm doing rituals, when I'm doing spells, whatever I'm doing, what do I use? So I do use a lot of herbs and crystals, of course, but with witchcraft, especially if you are a beginning witch and you don't know where to get things, or you haven't found a store that is set for you, you feel, or whatever, you can use a lot of natural things, a lot of cheap things from the store. There are so many things that you can use because witchcraft is kind of, most witches that I know use very natural resources. So, I have a few items here that I am going to talk about that I use a lot. Oils. oils are always great. This is dragon's blood. It's a specific type of oil from a specific type of plant. It's a long story. I know dragon's blood sounds scary, but it's not what you think. So I use a lot of oils. This is dragon blood. I love lavender oil. I love lemon oil. I love frankincense oil. I love there are a lot of different oils, and you can try them out. They're just like crystals. So with oils and herbs and things like that, they're just like crystals. Each one has its own properties, has its own things that it offers and all of that. So you just really have to do the research, or just look up on it, in on it, whatever you want to say, and you'll find what works for you or what you need at that time. So dragon's blood is actually used to give more power to whatever you are doing. So if you're doing a money ritual, it gives more power to it. It gives more energy to it. It gives more strength to it. It gives all of those great things. So yeah, different oils do different things. You'll know what you need once you look into it, and a lot of times you'll end up just coming upon whatever you need. And so, I do get a lot of, this is really herbs too, but I get mixtures of herbs from, let's see if you can see that. Yeah, this is an empowerment mixture herbal bag, and I get this from my crystal store that I go to. They have them. They don't have all the ingredients on there because then people will start making their own. But I do buy these sometimes. I have empowerment, I have confidence, I have releasing energy herbal mixes. I have a lot of different herbal mixes, and you can make those on your own. Like I said, if you look into what you're looking for specifically, if you're looking to bring in money, then find those herbs, put them in a bag, and there you go. There's your herbal mix. So I do use a lot of the herbal bags, and like I said, I do a lot of rituals and stuff that require natural elements. So earth, wind, fire, air, you know, all of that stuff. If you went to school, you know what I'm talking about. It may seem weird right off the bat, but one of the things that I have now that I have been waiting to use is, yes, this is a regular old mason jar from Dollar Tree, and it is filled with rainwater. So rainwater has a lot of energy because, of course, it comes from Mother Earth. It comes from the skies. It comes from the heavens, as some believe. And so I have rainwater, and this is actually rainwater from the new moon and solar eclipse on the 2nd. I have stored it, and I am so ready to use it. I just haven't found the exact use that I want yet, but this will be used soon. So rainwater, you can get sticks from outside. You can get plants from outside. If there are flowers, different flowers have different meanings and stuff like that also. So there are a lot of things that you can get just from nature to use in your craft. And you always want to be conscious of living beings. So when you are getting plants and things like that, I don't just go and pick plants, because there's like, it's a living being. So I want to be able to, if I pick a plant, I want to feel like it's right. I don't want to feel like I am just stripping this plant away from its home, its being. So I always, yes, think of me as weird, think of me as a tree hugger, but I always talk to the plants and things like that. I always want to set my intentions of positivity, and I don't want to feel like I'm stripping any living being of its home, of its space, of its being. So I always talk to them first, and then I'll pick them. So of course I have 1,000,005 of these sitting around, but I use a lot of candles. And when I do my videos, I always have a yellow candle lit, and that is because yellow brings confidence, it brings joy, it lightens moods, and it just brings creativity. So I always have a yellow candle lit when I am recording, but I have a lot of different candles, and just like with herbs and crystals and things like that, each color of a candle has different meanings. You can set different intentions and things like that. The next thing, which, yeah, there are a lot of things, but the next thing that I use a lot of is my tarot. So I use a lot of my tarot cards and my oracle cards. My goddess Isis, isn't she beautiful? I use a lot of my goddess Isis cards and tarot cards. You can use them for spells and things like that. If you are doing a love spell, which I do not do, because that is, I mean, it really depends. You have to be careful with the way that you word things in witchcraft, because things always come back threefold. And what that means is, threefold means that whatever you send out will come back 3 times on you. So when I say I don't do love spells, I don't do any love spells that will bring someone who, I don't do love spells that will force anyone who is not open to the changes. So I will not do a love spell for you if you're like, I want to make this person love me. No, because if that person does not love you, that person does not love you. And if I was to do that on someone who is not a willing participant, then that will come back threefold. So you may think that you love that person, but if I do a spell or if I do a ritual to get that person to be with you, you may find out that they have traits that you really don't like. You're really not in love with them. They could become possessive. They could become obsessive. They could become many different things. And you do not want that to happen. And I don't want that to happen either, because that looks bad on me. So, no, I do not do love spells, which that was a random rant. But I do get a lot of people to ask me that. And I do not do love spells. The only type of love spell I would do is to attract whatever is meant for you. So, the wording, like I said, will be different in the fact that I'm not forcing a specific person, but I am saying I want to attract this love that is meant for me. I want to attract this abundance of funds that is meant for me. I never want to take from anybody, and I never want to intentionally take from somebody. And the reason I say intentionally is because no matter what you do in your life, someone has to lose and someone has to gain. That's just how life works. And a lot of times we stop ourselves from asking for things that we want because we're like, well, I don't want this person to do. But either way it goes, no matter what, if you are going to get a promotion, if you want a promotion and you're like, well, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, guess what, honey? If you get that promotion, somebody else missed out on that promotion. So no matter what, you're going to have, there's always a positive and negative to everything. And you can't be ashamed or feel guilty because you are wanting to move ahead. Now, you do set the intention that you do not want to intentionally hurt anybody. You do not intentionally want to take from anybody. And then you go forward with it. But like I said, I can use my tarot. This is the Lover's card. It's very beautiful. But I can use my tarot in rituals if I want to attract love, if I want to attract friendship, if I want to attract any positive energy to myself. I can use my tarot cards to do so. Like I said, I won't intentionally force anyone who is an unwilling participant. But it's all about the way that you word things. And a lot of times when you think of witchcraft, you have some people who are like, oh no, it's only a light side and a dark side. But really, everybody's working in the gray area, because if you say, oh, well, I'm only doing spells for myself, I only do rituals for myself, you're still going to affect other people. That money has to come from somewhere. That money that you want to attract has to come from somewhere. I mean, no matter what. But that's just something I'm very passionate about. And I do get a lot of people who ask me to do rituals for them, who ask me to do spells for them. And at this point, I am not doing spells for other people because I am still working on myself, and I have to be in the right state of mind and the right state of energy before I can do work for others. But in the future, I definitely am looking forward to doing things like that for others to help them get whatever that they're needing. Those are the things that I use in my craft. There are a lot of other things that I could have mentioned, but those are the main ones that I use. Oh, and let me not forget my little mortar and pestle. So yes, I do mix herbs and things like that in there. But yes, so those are the things that I use. The next question is, how long did it take for me to know that I wanted to pull cards or read tarot? So for me, I've been weird all my life. I have always been so fascinated with Halloween. I have always been so fascinated with witches. I've always been so fascinated with witchcraft. But the way that I grew up, that was just something that wasn't talked about, which is how most of us grow up. And so I never really got the chance to express myself with witchcraft, but I have always been so interested in fortune telling, in tarot readings, and things like that. And so for me, it has always been something I was interested in. And once I got into witchcraft, I knew it was something that I may want to venture in, but I was not sure. 8 to 9 months after beginning my journey, I got my tarot cards. And really, I got my book first. which if you are someone who is into tarot and looking to get more information on tarot, I definitely recommend this book. It is a great book. I love it. It's very descriptive. It gives a lot of information and knowledge, and I just love the author, Sky Alexander. I love her. So I got my book first, and I actually started trying to get into it, but I really was not getting into it. And then once I got my cards, that's when I really got into reading the book and just learning about it. So I kind of knew right away from the start of my journey that it was something I wanted to get into, but what really took a long time was the process of actually getting the confidence to do it. So I've had my cards forever, and I'm just now gaining the confidence to do it, and now I love it. So that is about my cards. It didn't take me long to know I wanted to do it, but it took me a long time to be able to do it. It was something that was always in me, but I didn't have the confidence to bring it out of me. So there's that. Last question I had was, have I ever contacted or been in contact with a bad spirit? So whenever I do anything, whenever I meditate, whenever I am pulling cards, I generally like to set my space and just say, okay, I'd like to set my intentions and cleanse my space and my area, and just say, like, whatever energy is needed for me to do this reading, or whatever energy is needed for me to during this meditation, I'm allowing it. I do not want any negative energy or any unneeded, unwanted energy to contact me or be in my space. And I generally do that all the time, just because my mind wanders and other things may contact me or be in my space, and I just like to set my intentions from the start to not allow that. I've not contacted any negative spirits, and I really want to say that's because I set my intentions and don't allow that. You really have to control your space and control your energy and protect it. So I want to believe that it's because I have controlled and protected and cleared my space before I've done anything. But I can say that I do not do mediumship, so I do not intentionally connect with ancestors or anything like that. However, when I do readings for people and I'm connecting to their energy, when I'm connected to their energy and doing a reading, sometimes it does allow their ancestors or spirit guides to channel through me to give them whatever they're needing. So when I do readings, like I always say, I'm just a messenger. The cards is what's setting the base, and then I'm getting more information from spirit guides, ancestors, the universe, whatever is needed for you at the time. That is most of the time what I'm getting. And I have had experiences where I will be reading someone, and I believe one instance, for example, I was reading someone who I have never met before, and I was doing the reading, and I had 4 older black women, and I know they were black. I could clearly identify them, and they were just kind of like, not yelling, but getting on to her, like, tell her this and tell her that because she's stubborn and she needs to do this and she needs to do that, and that's all I can. And I'm just like, okay, let me just say this so they can move on, and she can get this message. So I have had plenty of experiences like that, and generally whenever I'm doing a reading for someone, I will tell them what I'm getting, what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, and that way, if it resonates for them, at least they know. But I needed to let her know, like, hey, you got some people watching over you, and they are telling you, like, get it together, girl. You got things to do. You got to get it together. And so I haven't contacted any bad spirits because I cleanse and set my space, but I do have contact with other worldly beings, whatever it may be. When, like I said, whenever I'm doing a reading, sometimes things come through and sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just my gifts in the universe coming through, but sometimes I do get very distinct people, and I think it depends on their energy and how strong their energy is, on how well I can discern and how well I can comprehend what they're giving me. those are the only questions for today. I will be doing this again, so hopefully you, like always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Make sure you get the word out. That way we can get more questions so I can get more videos like this to you. And as always, follow me on Facebook at Beautifully Grounded and Instagram at Grounded Beautifully. I hope you all enjoyed. Like always, make today beautiful and stay grounded, my loves.